Hello, in this tutorial we will create an workflow using Visual Studio and deploy it in a SharePoint team site. So basically the main points of this demo will be create a WSP solution, add an workflow, upload and deploy the WSP in SharePoint, create a list that actually will use the new workflow created, change the workflow definition, update the WSP solution, and create a new instance using the new workflow definition. So let's go back to our SharePoint. This is my team site, which I will use it. In order to create a workflow using Visual Studio, we can use Visual Studio, open Visual Studio. Let's go ahead and create new project. We need to go to Office SharePoint and then SharePoint solution. I will choose SharePoint 2019 empty project. Okay, demo 1. I will choose the name of the solution. Click OK. It's asking for the previous solution. No. First of all, you need to use a SharePoint site for debugging. You have two possibilities to deploy the solution: deploy as sandbox solution or deploy as farm solution. We are going to use deploy as farm solution option. So a new solution was already created. Okay. So in order to create a new workflow, we can right click on demo, add new item. We have multiple objects that we can add in this solution. I will choose workflow. Click add. We can create two types of workflow: list workflow and site workflow. Okay, I will choose list workflow and test. Type the name workflow 1. Click next. So you can choose a list that will be used in order to associate the workflow, or you can uncheck this button and then you can manually choose the list that you want to use for this workflow. Click finish. Let's collapse the references. So as we can see, a new feature was automatically added and an workflow definition was created. If we check the feature that was created, we can see the following. This is a web level feature. We can change the scope of the feature. So we can put it as farm level, site, web, and web application. Okay, so let's change the title of the feature. Demo 1, activate workflow. If you have multiple objects in this solution on the right side are the objects that are actually activated through this feature. For example, if you click this button, the feature will not activate any object. So let's put it back. Okay. Let's go to workflow definition. If you go to toolbox, you'll have all the activities that are available for this workflow definition. There are a lot of things that you can do using those activities. I will choose the most easy one, the one that actually is writing in workflow history list. Okay, so you can use the search button. For example, write to history list, just drag and drop. You have an exclamation point. This means that the activity is not configured or the configuration has some errors. If you click on it, go to properties and type demo workflow 1. Click OK and save the solution. Okay, now we have the possibilities to publish this WSP. We have deploy functionality, which actually will deploy this solution directly to SharePoint. And we have the publish functionality. In this tutorial, we will use the publish functionality, which actually will create a WSP on local server. And then we will go ahead and manually add this solution in SharePoint and deploy it. So click publish. You can create a new folder. You can go ahead and use the temporary folder, for example. Publish. Verifying the output window, we can see which are the steps that are done and if you have any error or not. Okay, so we can see that our WSP was created in ctemp and we don't have any failure. Okay, now the next step will be to add this solution in our SharePoint farm. So if I go in here on Central Administration, click on System Settings, Manage Farm Solution, we will see which are all the solutions that are added in this farm and also the status of each one, in this case deployed. So what we can do now, we need to add this new WSP in our farm. In order to do this, we will use SharePoint Management Shell. Run it as administrator. Once the prompter is available, we need to use add SP solution minus literal path. And here we need to put the full path of this WSP and hit enter. Now we have the confirmation that the WSP was added and which is not deployed. Okay. So now if we are going back to central administration page and just refresh the page, we can see the new WSP solution. Click on it. Sorry. We can see the new WSP solution, demo1.WSP, which is not deployed. Okay, we can click on it. We can deploy solution. This happened through a timer job. So we want to execute the timer job right now, or we may want to schedule the deployment of the solution to a specific date time. Let's deploy it just right now. Click OK. So basically a timer job was scheduled for execution. Refresh the page. As we can see, now the new WSP solution was deployed. If we click on it, we can see that the solution actually was deployed in both servers that I have in this farm. So let's go ahead and use it. This is my team site. I will create a new list. Let's choose custom list. Test demo 1. Okay, let's go on test demo 1 and let's try to associate the new workflow that we created to this test demo 1. In order to do this, we need to go to list, workflow settings. As you can see here, we don't have any workflow associated. Add an workflow. And we don't have our workflow. This is because we didn't activate the feature that actually will be responsible to activate this workflow. So let's go ahead on site settings. Manage site feature, because this is web level workflow as we saw in Visual Studio. Here, go to feature definition once again. This is web level workflow. If we choose, for example, site level workflow, if you modify the scope of the workflow and choose site, then the feature will be visible here. Site collection feature. Okay, but in our case, it's web level workflow. So let's go here, manage site features, and search for demo. Demo activate workflow. Let's click activate. So let's go ahead and use this workflow. Test demo 1, list, workflow settings, add a workflow. Now test WFE1 is visible, as you can see here in Visual Studio. If we select the workflow, display name test WFE1. So let's go back to our site, test WFE instance. Okay, we can use which is the task list that will be used by this workflow and which is the history list. I will keep the default settings. We will keep these settings. Okay. Okay, now we can see that this instance was created. If we go ahead and click on test demo, new item 1, this should trigger the execution of the instance that we created previously. Click save. Now, if we go to the contextual menu of the item, advanced workflows, we can see that test workflow instance was started. If we click on it, this is the item in workflow history list that we added using this activity, demo workflow 1. Okay. So now if we need to change the workflow definition, for example, add more tasks here, more activities, or change the message that we are writing in workflow history list, demo workflow changed, for example, we'll save the new definition. We'll go ahead and click the publish button again. We'll use the same temporary folder. Yes. Okay. Update SP solution minus literal path. Okay. Minus identity. And this time we need to go here and check which is the name of the solution, demo WSP. Hit enter. Okay, we receive an error because GAC deployment parameter was missing. Okay, so the solution was updated. Now, if we go to our team site, okay, let's add a new item. Let's go to contextual menu, advanced workflows. A new workflow instance was created. But as we can see, we still have the old message. This is because we didn't deactivated and activated the feature. So let's go to site settings. Let's site feature. Let's search for demo. Deactivate feature. Let's activate it again. Now let's go back to our test demo list. I'll create a new item. 3. Advanced settings. And now we have the updated template for this workflow definition. So in this demo, we created a WSP solution. We added an workflow in that WSP solution. As we saw, Visual Studio automatically created a feature for this. We uploaded and deployed this WSP solution in SharePoint. We created an item that actually will create an workflow instance for that workflow definition. We changed the workflow definition, and after this, we created a new workflow instance, which is using the new workflow definition. Thanks for watching.